Okay, so I will also start by saying that I didn't do this on my own. If it were up to me, I wouldn't have had the success I had. I prayed daily over my business. When I started, I invited God in to direct my business. And I have full confidence that He's the reason why I am able to speak in front of people now and do this. I mean, I'm still nervous to do this because not everyone here is on my team. And so I'm a little more relaxed with my team. I know them. But this makes me a little nervous. You'll never get over that. You're always going to be nervous. But I will say that it's not all me. And I'm looking over at my notes. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say is get over it. I feel like people who are introverted and shy use it as a crutch. I used to. I did up until 6 months ago. You think you can't do things because that's who you are, because it's sometimes being shy is debilitating. And so you feel like you can't do anything because of it. And I'm sick of hearing it because I've been there and I've seen what you can do. And so don't use that as an excuse anymore. Make the commitment to yourself that you will never use that as an excuse. It's hard to do, but that's step one. And then I want to make sure we know the difference between being introverted and being shy, because they're two totally different things that come with two totally different obstacles. So being introverted means that when you are in front of people, it drains you. Going to parties is fun and you can enjoy yourself, but after that, you need your time. You need to recharge and you need to focus. Read a book, watch movies alone. I always say I need to go introvert. I need to go just recharge my batteries. Thinking about going and doing those things is exhausting. I mean, I remember before the training on Saturday, I knew I'd have to see people, I'd have to meet people, and I'd have to talk on stage. And I was already exhausted just thinking about it. And I went home and went right to bed because I was just so drained after that. Extroverts, on the other hand, they love that. They get jazzed up. That's how they refill their tanks. So if they're having a hard day, they want to go to happy hour. They want to go to a party. And I've never been able to understand that. After a hard day at work, I always just wanted to go home and turn on Netflix. Like that was my thing. To put that in perspective, one of the couples that ran the training on Saturday, we were talking to them afterwards, and the woman is an introvert and the husband is an extrovert. And he was like jazzed up. He was so full of energy, and she was just like totally beat. So that's how that works. Being shy, from what I've experienced and seen, is having a fear of judgment. At least that's how I am. I am scared of talking to someone because I don't know what they're going to think about me. I don't know if they're going to judge me. I'm not very good at vocalizing my words. You'll see that here. I jump around all over the place. I back up. I stumble over my words, and I feel like if I go out and talk to a stranger, they're just going to judge me. They're going to judge how I look, how I talk. Am I intelligent? And that's shy, is just being scared of speaking to someone you don't know, and even someone you do know. How many times have you kind of seen someone from afar that you know, and you go out of your way so you don't have to talk to them? Because I did that all the time. So that's the difference, and those come with two different obstacles and things you have to think about when you're working your business. So one way you need to think that changed my business when I thought about it was, at first I thought, I'm shy, I can't do this. And that's going to wreck your business if you think that way. What you need to start thinking is, I'm shy, so how am I going to make this happen? That is going to arm you with the thought that you need to find tools to make this business work, and it's going to keep your eyes open for creative ways to run your business. I remember when Alyssa first approached me about it, I had watched her for years, so I knew that wrap parties were a thing, and I knew that blitzing was a thing. Other than that, I didn't know anything about the business. And I told her no, because I will never have a wrap party and I will never blitz. It's not who I am. It makes me want to throw up thinking about doing those things. I'm just not going to do it. And she said, well, there's different ways to run your business. You're on social media, you can run it through social media. And that's why I said, okay. So that leads me to the next thing. There are ways to build. We all know wrap parties, blitzing, and social media. I'm sure there's other ways, but those are the main three. If you don't want to build through wrap parties and blitzing, which I get it, I'm there, you have to become an expert at social media. You can't half-ass it, you guys. You have to. I mean, I poured into YouTube videos and I watched leaders that built through social media and I copied them. If you don't become an expert at social media and you refuse to do wrap parties and blitzing, you will not be successful. Every single person who is, expos, that's another way, but I didn't like expos. I did try it though. Every single person who's successful is an expert at one of the ways to build. I've heard of Ambassador Diamonds who have built their business through blitzing. Ashley Olive built her business through parties. And I know a ton of people that have built their business through social media. But if you think about each person, they're an expert at that way. They utilize the other ways. So Ashley Olive is still on Facebook working her business, but she is an expert at parties. And I do stealth blitzing. So like when I'm at a restaurant, if I like my waitress, I'll leave a blitz card with a note saying, add me on Facebook. I think you'd be great at what I do. I've gotten some ads that way. But so I do a little bit here and there. I carry samples with me. I don't really do wrap parties, but I have become an expert, at least somewhat, at social media. And that's what has allowed me to be successful. You have to be consistent. Social media is hard because it takes longer to build those relationships and get those leads to be warm. I am not about cold messaging, and I think that's where a lot of us that don't like talking to people get scared because we're cold messaging. Everyone else's version of cold messaging and what I call cold messaging are, I guess they're the same. I mean, I would consider it, you add someone on Facebook and you just message them right away, like the next day, or Instagram, someone likes a pic, like I don't know. I'm just not about messaging people if they've only liked one thing or if you just became friends with them. When I message people, I make sure that I have spent time liking their stuff, commenting, make sure we have a back and forth, comment on something on theirs. If they reply, I'll reply back, have a back and forth. It's so much less scary to send a message when you have that back and forth going. And I got off on a tangent. But anyway, so social media is hard because of that and because you have to stay consistent. If you're not willing to invest the time to become the expert in social media and stay consistent and really learn what a good post is and take the time to take really good pictures and run them through filters and have high quality posts, you won't be successful unless you utilize the other tools as well. I mean, does that make sense? You can't do one thing barely. You have to do one thing completely. And I think that's where a lot of people fail, to be honest. You can't post here and there, say this business doesn't work because I'm too shy. That it doesn't work that way. I once had to leave. I'm just giving you like why I can have this. 'Cause one time I went to Hobby Lobby when I was, I guess, in college. You guys, I had to leave the store because I had a panic attack because one of the workers asked me if I needed help. And so if I can do this, you can do this. I meant to tell you that at the beginning because it's such a horrible story. I'm still embarrassed by it. I can go to Hobby Lobby now and talk to people. I'm not like that anymore. This has helped, but that was pretty bad. But that just, validates my points that you can do this. Let's see, where was I going next? Okay, so for social media, I was talking to Alyssa about this earlier today, about how people who are introverted or quiet or shy, we think we're weird. Like, I thought I was weird for so long. And I guess everyone's a little weird in their own way because no one's normal. That's not a thing. But I think that we use the phrase socially awkward too loosely. I don't think a lot of people really are socially awkward. I think you are because you're shy and you don't have a lot of practice. And so people get really hung up on posting because they're not, a lot of us aren't bubbly. We're not bubbly people. I'm very real talk. Let's just have a conversation instead of like jumping up and down and squealing. I'm not that person. And so a lot of people have a hard time posting about our products in the business because they're not bubbly or girly or anything like that. And I'm not either. My posts are not bubbly. They have exclamation parts. They have exclamation points, and all caps, but I'm trying to convey what I would say to your face. So if I want to emphasize a word, I will all caps it. So like part of the reason people think that they can't post a good post is because you're posting like you're typing, you're doing capital letter, sentence, period, or, semicolon. Like that's not Facebook, you guys. You're going to have to convey your tone through punctuation and capital letters and the occasional emoji. I don't do emojis, so they're very, very rare for me. So I make sure a capital word is used very sparingly for emphasis. And I use a lot of ... dots for pauses and really convey your tone. That doesn't mean you have to be bubbly to sound excited or to get your point across. Like type how you're talking in your head or how you would want to say something to someone. And that's going to make you sound a lot less dry. It's going to make you sound like you. We all have our own tone, and you need to be yourself. And if you see a post that a leader posts and you really want to use it, but it doesn't quite sound like you, all you have to do is copy and paste it and then edit it to sound like you. I do it all the time. I mean, because a lot of leaders are really bubbly and I'm not. So I take out emojis. I take out 4 exclamation marks because they have 5 and I only need 1. And things like that. So be you. That's my number 1 tip on social media for how you post is be you. People can tell when it's not you. Stop thinking that you're socially awkward and overthinking your posts. Just post, you guys. Your friends know it's you. The people on Facebook didn't just become your friend today. Well, how I work my business, some of them did, but the majority of your network, they know you. They know your posts. They know how you talk. And so you just posting about a product isn't going to make them think that you're someone else or you're too bubbly. And someone told me the other day, well, Lindsay, your posts sound like you're bubbly. I am not. My posts are passionate. I'm very passionate about these products. And when I post, I picture myself holding someone's shoulders and shaking them like, you have to try this product. It's so awesome. And that's how I post. If it comes off as bubbly, fine. But I'm just being passionate. I'm not being bubbly. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is don't be scared to grow. This is like my last big point. Oh, wait, no, I have another one. Don't be scared to grow. I have been in the business for like 15 months. I'm losing track. No, 14 months. And I just now like stood on stage to give tips, and it was to a few hundred people. It wasn't like conference or anything, but that's terrifying for me. And it's probably terrifying to you guys too. And I was shaking. But I owned it. You have to own it. When I got up there, I didn't pretend to have it all together. I made sure to say, y'all, this is so out of my comfort zone. I'm not a speaker. That's why I work my business on social media, so that they know, like, I am not a pro at this. This is terrifying for me. I was actually shaking. You could see my hand. So all those pictures that you see of like me on the stage, I'm not that cool, calm, and collected. I was like freaking out in my head. And that's 14 months into my business. I didn't just wake up and do that one day. You know, it started with, you know, meeting 2 of my teammates for lunch and training them, and doing, you know, having larger and larger trainings with my team. So I went from, you know, 3 people to 5 people to 8 people to last time we had 8 people here, but 17 people on a Zoom and tuning in. So they're getting bigger, and, you know, the more I do it, the more comfortable I am. Plus it's my team. So that's a little easier. And that's a way to work yourself up to talking to people. Can I blitz? No, I'm still not a blitzer. I'm hoping eventually to get there, but I'm just not there now. But slowly doing those steps has really, really helped me grow. And I don't want you guys to be scared to do that. It's very liberating to do that. Because you can. Being shy doesn't mean you can't talk to people. It doesn't mean you can't lead people. It means that you're just going to do it a little differently. And most of the time when I do it, it's in a circle and we're all sitting down. The last one I did, I was up front, but I was still sitting down. I'm not like up leading a training with all this stuff. I'm sitting down because that's how I'm comfortable. If you're more comfortable sitting on the floor with everybody, sit on the floor with everybody. Make it easier on yourself to take those little steps. Have someone help you with your training, or your rap parties. If you want to try to do a rap party, don't go alone. If you need help, if you're really self-conscious about what you are posting on Facebook, I know I had people look over my posts at the beginning because I was really self-conscious about it. So I had people look it over and say, does this sound like me? Is this okay? What do you think people are going to think? Because that's all we think about is what are people going to think? So have another set of eyes look over it. My dog's going to bark any second. Haley, come here. No. I don't know where her thing went. So it's just little steps in every aspect of your business. You know, if you have a small team, get together with them so that when it grows, it's normal. And before you know it, you're going to be leading trainings. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that, I think. My last big part is about messaging. It's terrifying when you first start to do it. I still remember the first message I sent. I almost threw up because it doesn't matter. I'm scared of I was scared of what people think, still am. But you know what? If you don't ask, you're not going to build your team. And that's a big hurdle that you're going to have to get over, and it's not going to go away. There are still days when we're sitting around working and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just sent this message and I want to throw up. And so I'll type it out, and then I'll like put my mouse on send, and I'll close my eyes and I'll click it so there's no going back. And then I'll close out of Messenger and Facebook so I don't have to watch it. So it's like I pretend that I never sent it. I do it every day. I did that earlier today with a girl I was so scared to message. But I still have to do that because I'm still scared to message. And that is one of the things in the business that you will have to get over. There's no way around it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. But again, it probably won't ever go away. There are times that Alyssa does the same thing, and she's been in for 4 years. So, but it's so worth it when you send that message and you get a yes, send me more info. It's so awesome. But that is the number one thing that that's gonna be hard. What's made it easier is the more you know the person. So the girl I sent a message to today, I added her on Facebook randomly. We had a bunch of mutual friends from a long time ago. And I've been watching her for about a month and a half, interacting with her. She just had a baby. I'm obsessed with him. He's so cute. So I follow her on Instagram too, and I make sure to like and comment. We have back and forths going sometimes, and she's really started liking my posts more, not product posts, but like the businessy posts, the lifestyle posts. So I messaged her, and I was just like, hey, I have been, and own if you're scared and nervous. And I said, I've been so nervous to reach out to you, but I'm having a brave moment. And I told her how much I love following her baby, and, told her why I thought she'd be good at it. When you have reasons why you think people will be good at the business, or reasons you love following them, it makes messaging so much less scary, because you have more confidence that they'd be great at it. And you're not some stranger randomly asking someone to do the business with you. Another thing that makes it a lot easier for products is I always get a little nervous when I post my own personal before and afters. Again, because I'm scared of what people will think, even though I've had some really good before and afters. If you can get your loyal customers to give you testimonies, it just validates your business and validates what you do. I mean, I have more people reaching back out to me after I post some testimonies from my own loyal customers about the products, because they're seeing that those products are actually helping people. So that's a random thing that I didn't even have written down. The last thing I'll say is stop making it your biggest hindrance. Stop saying, I can't do it, because it can be your biggest asset. When I finally owned who I am, and that I'm never going to be the person that just loves all the attention, and I'm never going to be the person that can just go out and talk to strangers and make friends. My cousin can make friends with a brick wall. I mean, he can talk to anybody, and I'm never going to be that person. It's okay. That's okay. And you don't have to be that person either. But own who you are and talk about it. Because when I started talking about that I'm introverted, I'm shy, I have a lot of those people on my team now, because they relate to me and they know that if I can do it, they can do it. So if it can be a huge strength for you to have if you would just own it and talk about it frankly. I mean, I don't preach about it every day, but it's a huge part of my business and it's a thing I'm proud of, is that I figured out how to do this business being shy, because it's something I never ever in my whole life thought I could do. And so if you just own it and you talk about it, it's going to make a huge, huge difference in your business. Because also people relate to that. I feel like from the outside looking in, I feel like more people relate to us, people like us, than people who can stand on stage in front of thousands without getting nervous. Like, I can't relate to that. A lot of people can't. And so it could really help. There's a question, because that's really all the last thing I had. I'm sure something will come back in my mind. Already several distributors in your area. That's what social media is for. Because there are a ton in Houston, and there are a lot of us on the same team. On my team and on Alyssa's team, have the same mutual friends with a lot of people. That's why you tell your story, to be honest, from every different way, because someone's going to relate to your story more than they'll relate to someone else's story. And it's their decision whose team they choose. And so I want to tell my story so that the people who relate to me and know that since I can do it, they can do it, they'll come to me. Because I don't know how many distributors they know. So telling your story is huge. Asking is huge. Because if one person has 3 acquaintances that are all distributors, whoever asks them first they're gonna probably join with. So asking is huge. But I also don't really think about it, because so many people still have not even heard of It Works, even if there are, like, there's 3 ambassadors in the Houston area, a ton of presidentials. Who knows how many triple, double, and diamonds there are. And I'm still finding people every single day that have never heard of what we do. So don't let that scare you. I also add people on Facebook every day. I know a lot of people get nervous about that, especially if kids. I don't have kids, so it doesn't make me nervous, but you can also play with what posts only your friends see and only public, but I guess once you add them as a friend, that doesn't really matter. But I go through on your profile, if you go to your profile and you go to your friends, it says find friends. And what I do, some people do, companies or jobs or mutual friends. I do a college. I go through different colleges, and then I do hometown Houston, and then I'll go through, and anyone who I have 3 or more mutual friends with and none of them are distributors, I add them. I try to add about 10 people a day to keep expanding my network. And that makes sure that I am always getting new leads. The people that I add today probably won't be ready for me to message them or won't message me for another month or 2, because they need to learn who I am and see what my business is. And it just takes a little time. So I try to do that every day so that I'm always getting a new batch of warm leads, if that makes any sense. So that will help with that issue. So what if you don't have a story yet? Okay, so I didn't have a story always. Find a leader who you relate to. If you're a nurse, I believe Erin Tweed was a nurse. She's an Ambassador Diamond. If you were in retail, Ashley Sinclair owned a boutique. If you were a teacher, Ashley Olive was a teacher. If you're a college kid, Courtney Bohr. There's a million. There's no cookie cutter for who can do this business. So there's going to be a leader that you can relate to. Find one and share their story and share where you envision yourself going. If it's paying off debt, if it's staying home with your babies, if it's buying a house, whatever your goal is, tell people where you see yourself going. When I got started, I shared Alyssa's story because I knew her and she's my enroller. So I told her story, about how she was able to buy a boutique and, at the age of, I guess she was like 24 or something, I don't remember, but she bought a boutique, she's making all this money. So I told that story, and then it wasn't long, 2-3 weeks maybe into the business when I started seeing the other changes, not financial changes because I hadn't gotten a paycheck yet, I hadn't promoted yet. But I saw I saw the personality changes. I saw I was getting more brave. My 3rd week in, I drove to Dallas by myself to go to an It Works You where I only knew Alyssa, and I didn't even know if I'd find her there. And that was so out of character for me, you guys. So I posted about that. Like, I can't believe I'm driving to Dallas by myself. I've never driven that far by myself before, so that was huge. So I was like, I can't believe I'm driving to Dallas by myself to go to a training full of people I don't know. Like, that's huge. And people see those changes in you. It can be that. It can be going to a training and meeting a bunch of people. If you've made a bunch of friends and are hanging out with them, post about it. Post about all your new friends. You'd be so surprised how many women just want more friends, because it's so hard to make adult friends. So post about that. Post about the products. If the products have helped you, post about that and how you love getting paid to use these products. You have a story. Everyone has a story. It might not be I'm making $1 million yet, but you have a story. And even, I think it was Jade Hooper, and this is why I stress watching trainings of leaders. Jade Hooper's Instagram and Facebook training is phenomenal, and you can find it on YouTube. I watched that, and I think I had Caroline watch that when she was asking. It's really good. And she's talking about how at the beginning, she didn't promote super fast. She did eventually when she caught the vision. Sorry, Kaylee's being really loud. Stop. But she didn't at first. So her story was, look at this can of Febreze. I would have never been able to buy this. Like, this is a luxury, and I can just buy this now because of It Works. because she was broke. Their family was broke. And so it's just little things like that. Like, I can't believe I just bought a candle. That would have been grocery money, 2 weeks ago, but thanks to It Works, blah, blah. It can be anything. I mean, for me, it was eating out. I think I posted about that a bunch. I can eat out. I love eating out, but I could never afford it. And then when I could, that's what I talked about. It's little things. Not having to be on a budget when you go to the grocery store. That's huge. I used to be able to spend only $25 when I went to the grocery store. And when I posted about, I bought a lip gloss at Sephora because it was beautiful and I wanted it. So I bought it and I looked at the price and I was like, this was a week's worth of food for me. Like, that's insane. So I took a selfie with my lip gloss and I posted about how crazy that is, that I just bought something that would have cost me a week of eating. Like, that's insane. So it's just little things like that. And if you need, just think through your time and It Works and see what little things have changed. Even if it's not financial, if it's, just you or you've made friends or anything, you have a story. So, any other questions? You can unmute yourself too if you have a question, because I'm done. So if you have a question, unmute yourself if you have something to add. Like Angelica, I know you and I are very similar. If you have anything you want to add that I didn't touch on, I think I got everything. But I'm gonna stop the recording.